First of all, I would like to thank CII, in particular Chris, who conceived this idea of a section on innovation in sports. Obviously, we have heard many sessions throughout the day about healthcare, automobiles, and few others. Uh, Even here, the focus is on technology-led innovation, but in sports. Obviously, sports brings in a very genuine human spirit, whether we are playing or participating. And I guess it is much more intimate to us as humans and as individuals. Obviously, as sports has evolved over the many centuries, but I guess the last few decades has been of tremendous change, and we will see much more. Today, obviously, we have a reasonably well-packed agenda. We will start, obviously, with our good friend from RCB, and Isala Cup Namdene, whoever has any grouses, we can sort it. And we will then follow through to the next session with Baseline Ventures, Vishal, essentially talking about the venture side of things. That will be followed through with a panel discussion with very smart and already accomplished young people. You will see them soon. And finally, we will kind of get to show you one of the technology-led sports platforms and how it is working for tennis, right? Sorry. Now, obviously, sports has kind of had a tremendous transformation, like we were speaking about. And when it comes to technology and infusion of technology, some of the recent phenomena that we see and we are more likely to see in the future are, let us say, around three dimensions. First one I see is around smart infrastructure, where you are looking at an adaptive environment to suit different weather conditions, different sporting requirements, more importantly, different fan experience within a much immersive side of things. Obviously, technologies like 5G, metaverse, and analytics and AI is something that you will hear more and more about. The second phenomena is something more individualized, where you're looking at either the fan experience or the athlete experience or the sports person's experience through performance analysis or engagement with multiple people. And here again, technologies like AI, games, all of these technologies are playing a significant role. The third phenomena is obviously on the e-games or the e-sports side of things, where a tremendous transformation is happening, and I'm sure all of you are either part of that transformation where you are playing these games on your phones or your kids are playing games on these phones. So we will hear a little more about this as well. So this is a broad kind of set of themes around which we will hear insights from the practitioners. But we will start obviously with Rajesh Menon. He is the VP and head of RCB, and he's also been very instrumental in creating this brand of RCB, and to it where I think the belief in the team and organization has been so much that it's all become ours. I think a good credit goes to Rajesh and his team to have made this happen. So Rajesh, being in this space of sports business, if I have to call it that way, how have you seen sports itself evolve in India over the past few decades, and what do you see as some sort of a future for sports in India?
See, India. Thank you, Manju, for having me here first. From an India point of view, India always had this strong culture towards sports. It was in rudimentary form very earlier. If you look at those days, it was chaturanga or kusti for that matter, archery, horse racing and stuff like that. And when British came into India, they brought a lot of things to India. Along with that, badminton and cricket was of very importance.
And
And though
hockey.
hockey, yeah. And those days, I think so in 1884, we had the first polo club. And 1889, we had the first football club. Anybody, any guesses? Any guesses? Correct, yeah. We had Mohan Bagan. So we had multiple sports, what do you call, avenues for Indians to participate. But what happened after that? When Britishers left India, there was a void. And India was trying to find its own identity. And we went into a shell. We became restrictive, conservative. And that India, the narrative there was mainly making it narrative, where I want to do something and secure myself and my family. That was a narrative there, which resulted in a very straight-jacketed approach. It was like a having a road map. Study, 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 get a government job, and be secure. That was the thought.
Sports was not seen as an
Absolutely
option.
not there. Absolutely not there. And what that resulted was, sports was mere a hobby. Pado abhi, half an hour, go play and come back. That's it. And it was all about security. And that manifested in Bollywood also. If you look at the kind of movies which we all saw, Zanjeer or Anda Khanun, Angry Young Man. So it was all about that. So completely sports took a backseat. That resulted in no infrastructure, no impetus to do anything. It was all about doing that. Cut to now, maybe 15 years, 10, 15 years back, what has happened? India started opening up. People started experiencing new things, understanding what sports is. Sports started moving and becoming more to sports and fitness, becoming more lifestyle than hobby. And for life, it was not a roadmap, it was a road trip. It was more a figuring out narrative, which means I know I will figure it out. And hence, with all this, people started to understand new things. Media came in, new leagues started coming in, government started pumping in money. Uh, Private enterprise like JSW, Reliance, all of this started participating. For information, if I'm not wrong, this Commonwealth Games, 60% of the medals are from JSW athletes. So all these are impacting in sports, and this is the evolution of sports in India. And currently, with this, what is happening is, with new entities coming in and new sportsmen coming and winning medals, that's a completely new trend which is coming in, which is where even parents are encouraging kids to participate in sports. So that is a narrative which we have seen in the past and what is happening now.
Certainly, I have two young kids, and every other day I'm dabbling with this idea of sports versus career or studies. My younger one is very passionate about football. They do go for this football coaching, but we'll see where it ends, by the way. But having said that, where do you see Indian sports from a global perspective? I mean, if you were to see, hey, sporting nations or global, we are 20% there, 80% there. This is the kind of volume of people who get to participate, train, say in the US or China or wherever, versus in India. So if you were to look from a global perspective, I mean, today cricket is very big. We are pretty much, owners of every cricket business around the world. But is there other something beyond?
There is, it's again chicken and egg. Should we get medals to inspire the nation? Or should we develop the infra to inspire the young kids?
Yeah.
So that is the question which is running. And to answer this question, if you look at grassroots level, what's happening in China, Australia, US, and India. In China, the induction into professional sports starts at the age of 6. But whereas in India, it's at the age of 12. We have lost 6 years. Point number one. Point number two, if you look at US, there's college sports is the feeder to national sports. So there is a pride in that college sports. Here we don't have that. So point number two is we need to develop that infrastructure at the school level and college level. Infrastructure doesn't mean just only PT. It is good coaches, uh, psychologists, SNC, and I'm talking the entire ecosystem should be developed at the ground level. Point number one. Point number two is our government. The spend per athlete in US is around, if I'm not wrong, 22 to 25 rupees, whereas in India is still in paisa. So that has to go up. See, these are the main two things which I feel we need to implement at our grassroots level for Indian sports to come up. With sponsors coming in, with fame coming in, with Star, Sony, even fan code, live telecasting, all sports, this is moving in right direction, but we need to correct these aspects.
Fair enough. I'm sure there are many in the audience who are looking for an opportunity to invest in sports. Uh, Switching a little bit towards technology and the role of technology in sports, where have you seen the role of technology in transforming the sport in itself? For example, it has made the athletes perform better or cricketers perform better, whatever, right? And the sport business around a particular sport enhanced because of technology.
Two aspects. One is performance enhancement. The second one is the fan engagement or fan experience. Within performance enhancement, there are two vectors to it. One is during the game, and one is pre. When I meant pre is till many years we didn't know, because my body is different from your body.
Yeah.
Because we can't do the same stuff what I can't do the same stuff what you do, and you can't do the same stuff what I do. So first is in terms of understanding the body or understanding the athlete. That was not there. But now we have systems. We have systems and processes and devices to understand that. What is the load monitoring which is happening on the body? Are you 100% fit or only performing at 80% capacity? What is the diet required for you for your kind of a body? We can monitor that. So we can monitor multiple things in terms of from a pre-game scenario.
So what element of this happens in RCB or?
Most of the stuff. Coming to RCB per se, what we believe is creating and every individual is unique. We have an AMS, an athletic management system, where we mount multiple things on it. Simple example, there is GPS on a player, which will understand the load, how much he's running, how much he's jumping, what the fatigue level. Then there is a device to monitor his sleep pattern, his HRV, his recovery, to understand has he recovered well or not. Then there is DNA testing to understand what can he have, and what kind of exercise will help him. Whether whether a strength conditioning will help or a strength endurance will help. That will help. Apart from that, then we have what else? Yeah, we do a complete blood check to understand what is not working or working. So all this is mounted on the AMS. So for example, then I will know, for example, if you are a RCB player, saying that what you need and what can be tinkered. So based on that, the physio, the strength and conditioning coach, the dietitian, everybody works towards that goal. So we have a baseline set.
Okay. And do you think we are up there in terms of cutting edge technology that we are able to bring in for our athletes? I mean, you can talk about all sports, but you're familiar with cricket, so you can let us know from cricket. That's one side of the coin. The other side of the coin is, where do you see the future of technology, in helping sports in general to succeed?
Coming to cricket per se, see, you may know cricket as a simple sport where a bowler is bowling and a batsman is hitting the ball, but it's very complex from a data point of view. The reason is the number of variables are humongous. But on a basketball court, there is only a court there and the ball. But whereas on a cricket field, the variables are the pitch, the grass on the pitch, the weather, the ball, the shine on the ball. So the variable is so much, so it becomes difficult to uh, predict the winning way of what you call. In football, you can do that. You can easily strategize and play, but in cricket, it's difficult. But what is possible in cricket is this, what I mentioned, number one. Number two, again, what is possible is to enhance a cricketer. How can we make him perform better? I'll give you a simple example. Example is, a live example will be, everybody knows AB de Villiers. AB de Villiers is known for all kinds of shots. So we call him Mr. 360. But nobody understands how he's able to generate the power. Because if you're able to understand that, then we can replicate that on other players.
Okay.
So simple example here, simple understanding here is, power is from the core. And power is generated, any power, right, whether it's boxing or hitting in cricket, is generated from your feet. So we need to have sensors on the feet to understand how the power is getting generated, number one. Number two, we should have enough EMGs and sensors on our body to understand which muscle is getting activated for which shot. Once I'm able to understand that, for example, for a hook, this is the power getting generated and this muscle is getting activated, easy for us then.
Okay.
Then I can go back to the strength and conditioning coach and the coach and tell him, saying, at this stance, at this level of intensity on the feet, this muscle is getting activated, please train him for that.
Okay.
So that is what is required for a cricketer or a boxer. I'm saying, how do we move forward? But that is still not there in India.
Okay. Okay. So that's an opportunity for all of us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So the other dimension you touched upon was on the fan engagement side, because I think that's a huge opportunity. So can you spend a minute or talking about how you are dealing with fan engagement with technology, and where do you see the future of?
See, again, whatever we do on tech to enhance performance can easily enhance a fan engagement. I'll give you a simple example. Visioning, the computer vision is 3D, is going to be the next big thing. The reason here is, I think so, Intel tested that in Olympics this year. When a runner is running the 100 meters dash, with 3D you can map him completely and you can understand the stride level, at what level is accelerating, every aspect. That can be easily translated, visualized in a different manner for a fan engagement. So it can help the coach to understand whether he's performing well or not. And fan also can understand in terms of different dynamics of it. The same thing with cricket also. So simple example, Hawkeye. Hawkeye is doing that job because I can understand whether I'm able to bowl, the swing is there, swing is not there, what is there. The same with the fan too.
So is there anything new that RCB fans can expect in the near future?
We are working on NFT and metaverse. It's still in a pilot stage.
Okay.
So that is the next big thing.
Okay. Very good. So we have something to look forward to apart from the cup.
And also from a technology point of view, what is required is scouting.
Yep.
India is 1.3 billion population. We can't have maybe 100 scouts and go because my eye is different from your eye. How will we evaluate and find the best talent? That is critical. But how will we do that at scale, India's scale? By using maybe a mobile phone, 2 mobile phone. If you are able to do that, that is required. Not just for cricket. No, I'm not looking from a cricket point of view, from a sports in general in India. How do we unearth talent? We need to have technology to do that. Cricket and scouting, I'm doing that with AI and ML, where I need only 2 cameras with the AWS cloud coming, then we can easily do that. So, but at scale, how will we do that is the question.
Sure. I think that's an interesting problem to solve. I think our timer is saying our time is up. In fact, yesterday I saw somebody's presentation, a startup was talking about, managing fresh food. And they said their problem is time is my enemy. Fresh food will get, with time will get spoiled. So time is my enemy. So I think that's true for every conference or a summit. Time is the enemy, despite the interesting conversation that we are having. I have one more question to Rajesh. But meanwhile, I request any of you, if you have a question, think about a question and just raise your hand. Somebody will pass on a mic so that we can ask the question quickly, right? So the final question I have, Rajesh, is this IPL. Even now, we were just speaking about how it's become successful as a business, and that again is a kind of a technology, business innovation. Many things came together. And I'm sure there are many other sporting organizations trying to emulate it, kabaddi, hockey, whatever, right? But I do not believe many of them have evolved to become so successful. So given that you are driving this business within this IPL ecosystem, are there some tips you want to give to the other teaming organizations? Hey, you know what, look out for these three factors that could help you become successful.
See what I do is, for me, the critical aspect is fan. I put fan at the center in any sport. Look at from any sport angle. Put the fan at the center, and make the fan uh, resonate with your brand and love your brand. But that is critical. If you start doing that for all sports, for even athletics, for anything, if you are able to do that, the sports itself will start growing. And we have technology. The digital technology is huge. For simple and hence RCB is RCB because of that. And I'm proud to share that in the month of May this year, we hit on Instagram, we hit 181 million interactions.
Wow.
With that, we became world's number 2 globally interacted team.
Very good.
Number 1 was Real Madrid, number 2 was RCB, number 3 was FC Barcelona.
Wow.
So that is only possible, and we have to be proud of it, because I'm proud of it, the RCB. You have to be proud because there's an Indian franchise who's doing that, and we should have the vision to do that for every sport. And we can do that because digital is up there. We can do that when all the companies, Infosys or any company, for us all bottom line is critical. But don't forget the finish line. We are here to win that, get that finish line for that, which means we need to look at scale. Anything what we do in India, we should look at scale.
Interesting. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you. Very interesting topic, especially sports. Everybody likes that. One question for Rajesh Menon. With respect to India, as you know, it's full of villages, a lot of talent, hidden talents, not nurtured ones. Do you have any idea, or maybe in your ecosystem, how are the things we are trying to tap Indian talent? Because most of the sports, what we see, the winners, or they have their own story. There may be backup is there, or they come with some way of some luck. But when you see the Indian talent, a lot of is hidden. So what is the different ways we are actually looking at it? So that we have more numbers, so that we can participate more and win more golds.
So just to understand, you are asking how are we looking at interland?
Indian talent.
Indian talent.
Indian talent at the villages level.
Villages level. Oh, you got it. Okay, it's a secret, but I will narrate it. Currently, what we are doing is we are doing a hinterland scouting. As I mentioned here, as of now, RCB is looking at length and breadth of the country to look at new players. So we are looking at AI to do this hinterland scouting, where anybody can come and bowl and bat. The machine will record it, understand, analyze, shortlist, and send it to us. So why are we doing that is because we want to touch maximum hinterland. So it is called as hinterland scouting. So we are not going to maybe Chennai, Bangalore. We may go, but we are going to maybe Jalandhar, maybe Jaisalmer and stuff like that, and looking at talent there. And once the talent comes, then then.
So is it, you're saying in terms of RCB, is it happening for all the sports or from the initiative from government as a whole?
See, that is what I'm saying. This is left up to the entire organization around us to uplift that. It is not about just one team to do that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So there's one more question here.
You mentioned how innovation is used in finding out each player's methods, etc., like how AB de Villiers generates power from his foot and core, and if we can apply it on other players. But if we gather all this data, wouldn't the sport be more predictable? as in each outcome.
Interesting.
See, the point here is you're only enhancing the capability of that individual. That's it. For example, if I'm able to hit shots, doesn't mean the bowler is not enhancing his skill. So it's a skill where the bowler is also developing. See, there was only a what do you call one medium pacer earlier, but now we have mystery bowlers. We have slow bowlers. Now we have what not coming in. So what I'm saying is the game is progressing. So if someone is doing something for the batsman, someone else is doing something for the bowler too. So the game will progress. And here, what I'm doing is I'm only enhancing his capability, saying that whether he is able to hit the ball properly well or not.
Yes, but if we impose the same technology on a bowler, and we find out how he bowls, so wouldn't that information make the sport less of the excitement involved
No,
and more of a technology?
I'll give you example. Here, if I know, I didn't get your name.
My name is Samson. Sorry, Samson.
Samson, if I know, for example, you are bowling at 130 kilometer per hour and you have some technical flaw, and if my technology is able to understand that with that correction, you'll be able to 140, then that's good, no?
Yes, but if my opponent knows that as well, wouldn't that hurt?
No, it's okay, but you're bowling at 140. Opponent need not know what technology, what change you have made. Opponent is only seeing your ball from 130, you have improved to 140.
Okay.
Thank you. I think there's one more. Oh, two more questions. Okay. Oh, you, okay.
Yeah, hi.
After me.
Rajesh,
Hi.
first of all, congratulations that you were able to achieve that Instagram numbers. Question is related to that only. See, how do you use this data and all? More specifically, we work with, from Infosys, Seshu, we work with some global brands, and during events such as World Cup football or EPL or La Liga and all, some of these brands monitor the social media feeds and then they change their campaign strategies promoting the brand. And of course, their players, etc. and all. How are you using this data? More specifically during the IPL that is happening.
Good question. Two parts. I'll answer in two parts. One is the data which is Instagram, Facebook has is not our data, so it's not first party data. So it's garbage for me. So there is a complete work stream where we are creating a platform where we will mount multiple products on the platform. Simple example, metaverse. We are getting into sports ed tech. We are getting into online fitness. So we're developing multiple products which will mount on the platform. Hence, I'll start getting first party data. This is only for fan engagement. What happens is, what is contextual and topical currently what's happening there, what fans wants to see and hear is on the social media. And what we have done is we have segmented it based on different content buckets. For example, 12th Man TV, outside in perspective of fans to the team. RCB Insider, Danis Seth anchors that. It's a satirical comedy on the team itself. So we have multiple content platform which resonates with our fans. And that enhances our reach as well as engagement.
Fantastic. Thank you, Rajesh. One last question from
Hi.
our good friend.
My name is Paul. So I'm a big fan of RCB's, what you're doing in the business side. And there's one cafe which has come up in India called RCB Cafe. There's nowhere in India a fan can go and actually enjoy a coffee just because loving your sports. But one suggestion is that when you set up innovation, and what is RCB doing for innovation for Bangalore in a way for supporting the ecosystem? The second thing is that if you provide in 6 months or in a year, bringing all this startups which has been trying to do something in cricket and doing a open house for you to showcase a talent, it will be very helpful for a lot of young companies to come in the forward, because nobody's doing that. So if you can actually open up your cafe as an open space for people who has actually built smaller than app or applications or ball technologies, for them to showcase that space for cricket. And if you can take that lead in Bangalore, and every other state will copy that. For me, that opportunities are not there for startups at this point, because I run a community to help this kind of people. And it is very difficult to get access to people in the industry. So that's how.
Thanks, Paul, and thanks for being our fan. To answer your question, RCB is currently working on something called RCB Innovation Lab. And within that, one of the vector coming out of the Innovation Lab is for supporting the startup. So we are looking at creating a startup fund with one of global big giants. We are doing that. When that is in, then many of the sports startups can look for seed funding from that.
Perfect. With that note, I think we will end this section. Thank you, Rajesh. That was a quite interactive and interesting session.